This top 10 list is sponsored by Game Toppers. Game Toppers LLC has more than a few solutions that transform almost any normal table into a sturdy and portable gaming table without breaking the bank. Stop by GameToppersLLC.com for everything they currently have to offer you, from game toppers to playmats and more. Hey folks, welcome back to another Top 10 with yours truly, Sam Healy and...
JT?
Yeah,
Turner?
There you go.
The last
See?
part.
There we go. We are going to be talking about our top 10 games that we played on the cruise. Now, I did hear some feedback of people that think you play 20 games a day while you're on the cruise.
Good try. Go for it. No, you don't.
You have to sleep and eat at some point during the day. So 20 games during a single day is probably not going to happen on the cruise. I played 16 games throughout the entirety of the week.
16 different games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I played some of those games multiple times.
I played 22 different games.
22?
But
wow.
A couple of those are quite small. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were smaller ones.
Yeah, that includes me teaching Mel like 20 strong. We played that a couple times together, just side by side in our cabin.
Okay.
Things like that. But
all right. Yeah,
which
that's
makes
cool.
it a difference. But
yeah, it makes a difference. Yeah, playing, if you're talking about longer games,
yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I don't. If you're going to enjoy the cruise and play games, I don't see how you could do 20 games.
You figure one day is if you're sleeping for 8 hours,
right?
And you're prepping for sleeping and getting up in the morning and waking, that's 10 hours of your day. And then if you add 5 hours of food or traveling to get food back and forth throughout the day, which isn't even unreasonable, especially when dinner can take 2.
You literally have to not eat.
Yeah.
Or
not sleep.
Not sleep.
For 7 days.
Just not going to happen. We played a good number of games. 16 games in a week, 20 games in a week. That's a lot of games.
That's different games, yeah. I don't know. Different plays, I think I had 32 plays or 31 plays.
Man, not me.
There's some small ones in there. So.
I maybe had 20 different plays. Not bad, not bad. All right, well, let's hit it.
Sweet.
All right, my number 10.
Wait, what's your honorable mention?
Are we going to do that first? We do those last.
Oh, we do those last. All
yeah,
right,
we do those last because that builds the tension.
Ooh.
You'll know all 16 games that I played it by the end. My
perfect.
honorable mentions are just the other 6 games that that didn't.
I'm
make the
not
top
bringing
10.
them all up.
Well, I am, because that's just what I do. Perfect. My number 10, and it's weird for me to put this game at number 10 because usually if I talk about top 10s, this is my number 1 game, and that is Blood Rage. Now, the reason it's at number 10, the reason it made the cut for number 10 because it's Blood Rage.
Oh.
But this game of Blood Rage was with 5 players, and I just don't like Blood Rage that much with 5 players. Nope. All that 5th player does is it adds another hour onto the game. That's all a 5th player does. It doesn't really change your experience. It doesn't really make it any better. Doesn't do anything else, but adds more time. But I did enjoy playing the game, and I did enjoy the time around the table, and that's where a lot of my ranking is going to fall.
Mine too.
The experience that we had with the game. It's not really a discussion about how good the game is. It's where it fell within my experiences for the week. I still had a great time. This is one of my top 10 games that I played this week. So there you have it. But 5-player Blood Rage is just not something you should inflict upon yourself. It just shouldn't. But I had a great time playing it with the people that I played it with. Michael and Sarah, thank you. Michael and Sarah, we had a great time teaching them. And I don't remember the 5th player's game because I didn't have any other connection with him. Yeah. Didn't have any other connection with him other than playing that game, and I can't remember.
The only thing they really want to know is, did you win?
I did.
Of course you did.
126. 126. Second place was 129. Second place was 116.
You remember all your scores?
No. Third place was a distant.
I did not remember all my scores.
No, I don't either. But it just it's easier for me to remember. But that's my number 10, Blood Rage.
All right, my number 10 is it only made this list because of my curiosity of the game.
Uh-oh.
We had a good time at the table. This is the one that you played with me. And this is a 2023 game from Nauvoo Games.
Oh, okay.
You know which one it is?
Yeah.
That's Raising Robots. Raising Robots, we did not have the greatest of plays. It was a very interesting... It's sometimes on the cruise, especially, or you guys know, like on a convention, teachers are kind of brutal sometimes. And not brutal in the fact that the person's doing a bad teach, but there's so much other stuff going on. Yeah. There's so much ancillary stuff. So the teach was rough in that manner. And then we just played, and it felt like to me, when we first started teaching, and all of the upgrade tokens and all of the different things you can do, and engine building is something that me and Mel really love. All of that sounded really great, and there's a lot of interesting things there. And then it just didn't play out that way. But I really need to play this game again to see if I don't like it as much as I don't like it, or as much as I think I don't like it, or if I don't like it because I like it because, you know, of the mechanism. So I'm very interested in Raising Robots. We didn't have a great play, but the game itself, the mechanisms were very intriguing to me. To me, because that's my kind of game.
Yeah, I get that. This is one of the games that's not on my list.
I figured.
It is not on my list, and I'll just talk about it now so we won't have to talk about it later. It is, for me, was super boring. Super duper boring, because you're doing, my experience was the game, you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And it's just, wow.
I don't know if that was a product of us trying to get the game done, or if that was just the way the game plays. That's my... Yeah. I'm not sure.
I'm willing to play it again for posterity's sake, just to, like he said, to confirm one way or the other. I'm willing to do that, but my goodness, if it takes a year or two for that to happen, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, and if I never play it again, that'll be fine too. But
me too.
Mechanics-wise, it was very intriguing to me. And it still is. So. I didn't look at your list. I looked at your list. I didn't read it, though.
All right. This game is on my list because I was super looking forward to playing this game again, brother. I so wanted to play this game again. And it's low on my list because I was a little baby while I played it, because the game kicked my butt from almost the first round, and I was struggling the entire game, and I was so pumped to play this game again, and then it kicked me in the Champions of Midgard. I know. I made an informed decision.
Yeah. No, but
it was the wrong decision. It was the wrong decision. It just kicked me in the nethers the first round, and I was struggling the entire rest of the game. But it reminded me how much I really enjoy that game. Oh my goodness, I really enjoy that game. And it was so cool because Dante really enjoyed it as well. We basically, JT was teaching Dante how to play, and then me and Mel just were kind of there going along. And I really, really enjoy that game. Not so much this particular experience, but the silver lining of the experience was that Dante got to learn how to play, and he actually enjoys it. Yeah. So that's my number 9, Champions of Midgard. I really enjoy the game, but this one was a brutal experience for me.
I really enjoyed the game too, and it's not on my list because of the way the experience played out.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. My fault. It's not your fault. You're right, and just so you know, he made a risky decision, which wasn't that risky, but he made a risky decision, and we did 2 things. And the risky decision paid very, very poorly for him, and it sucked. It was not. It just sucked. But the other thing is we had both been rusty enough on the rules not to realize that you would at least got some chips back, which would have
made
kicked
the blow
you back in a little bit quicker.
Made the blow not as devastating.
So we kind of messed that up at the beginning, which it would have cleaned it up a little bit, and it also reminds you how much Valhalla is important. In the game. But I loved playing with Dante. I loved playing with everybody. So you know, I did the statistics on that, and the statistics of you pulling that card are higher than you rolling 3 blanks on 3 swordsman dice.
So it's a higher chance of me drawing that card?
Yep, than rolling 3 blanks on dice.
Really?
Yep, just so you know, it's just an interesting thing. But, because I had to check, like, if it was really...
Yeah, I had to check.
But anyways.
That's my number 9, Champions of Midgard.
Love the game.
Yeah.
And I really loved the play, but it turned out... It was a little bit rough for us.
It was brutal.
But it's all good. All right, my number 9... I don't know if you've played this one before. We played this one together as well. Several of these we played either with your family or whatever else. Yep. But my number 9 is just a game that every time I've played it, I just really enjoyed it. And it's a cooperative game called Tesseract.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
We had so much fun playing Tesseract. I think that was the first day or the second day we sat down and played it with Mel and you. And I don't remember who else played it with us, but yeah, we had a great time. We won it quite handily, probably the best win that I've seen so far in all of my plays. But every time I sit down and play the game, it's just really fun.
Yep. I forgot we played because I didn't document it in one of those shorts because this was done, I think, before I started doing, or maybe I was just like, snoozing or whatever. But yeah, I didn't document this one, so I forgot I played it. But that's the second time we played it. We played it up at Comus. Yep. If you remember that.
Yep.
And I think we pulled out a squeaker there.
We did.
But this one was, pretty handily won.
I think I've played it like a half a dozen times now or so.
It's a good game.
It's just fun. It's really
We played with the metal dice.
Oh, yeah. Tom has the metal dice, obviously. So, although I will say the metal dice sit a little bit more precariously on that centerpiece. I think they slide on top of each other a little bit more than the normal dice.
The surface is a little bit smoother.
But the dice are freaking cool.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they are.
So my number 9 was Tesseract.
Good pick. That's a good game. All right, my number 8 is a little spatial organization game called Cafe. Cafe is a really neat game where you are basically replicating the process of growing coffee beans, to drawing coffee beans, to roasting coffee beans, and then delivering coffee beans to different cafes around Portugal, I think is what it is. Portugal, Spain, the Iberian Peninsula. And it is a really neat game from Pythagoras, and I really enjoyed it. The cool kind of thing about this is that we played this in the Fort Lauderdale airport on the way back, and we basically just commandeered a couple of tables.
Yeah.
Because there's no tables. Yeah. Other than where you eat food in Fort Lauderdale airport, there are no tables.
Kind of a crummy little airport.
Yeah, kind of is. It's cheaper to fly in there. Now we know why.
Yeah.
But we had to commandeer a couple tables, and we played this, and then we also played a Marvel Remix.
Yep, we did play it. So, I didn't write down either of those in my 22 games played either, so that's 24.
Wow. There you have it. So, but I really enjoyed this game, and I enjoyed teaching it. It was the second time that I tried to play it. I think Jess and I tried to play it once, 2-player on the boat, but we had to stop for one reason or another.
Probably food.
So, yeah, something like that. So, I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great game, and it was a good experience.
Yeah, that's a really cool game. Yep. And I will be getting Cafe. It's a really cool game.
Cool beans.
Really enjoyed it. And it wasn't on my list because I didn't remember we played it.
It was that good.
There might be more of those. I don't know. That was your number 8, Cafe?
That was my number 8, yes.
That's a cool little game. My number 8... we tried to play once, then we played it again to try to finish it, and we just kept making this bounce, trying to get it in in a time frame.
Yep.
It's like, how much time do we have before dinner? We have an hour and 12 minutes. Okay, let's do it.
We can do it. We can do it. No, we can't.
But my number 8 is First Rat.
Yeah.
This is a nice little game where you're racing up a track with these rats, but you're collecting materials and trying to build rockets, and you're trying to get your rats to the moon, but at the same time you're stealing backpacks and things that will give you special abilities. It's a really fun little game. I would play this anytime, anywhere. First Rat was a really cool game.
On the way.
Here? You're going to get it? You got it?
I already purchased it.
Nice.
Purchased it from Miniature Market.
It's really cool.
Yep, it's a really fun game. The theme alone was enough for me to want to play it, because be the first ratronaut. That's what they call it. The first rat astronaut on the moon. That's what you're trying to do.
Careful how you say that.
Yeah, you got to be careful. But yeah, really fun game. Ilya, he used to, well, he still is a content creator over in
Estonia.
Estonia, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that because I was thinking something else. I was thinking Croatia, but it is Estonia. And he's a great guy. And the last time I actually played games with him was on, I think, one of the first Ice Tower cruises.
Nice.
That's how long it's been since I've seen him.
Nice.
But it's really cool that he was there and he was able to teach his first rat. So it's a good game.
I had to look up Estonia. I knew about it, but I couldn't quite picture it. But it's right south of Finland, across the Baltic.
Yeah. My number 7 is First Rat.
Yeah.
It was a great game.
Yeah.
It was a great game. And that's why we tried to play it. So we tried to play it, I think, 3 different times.
Yeah.
And I played it, I think, a 4th time when Ilya actually taught it to me with a couple of other people. And then I tried to play it 3 more times after that. And we just never got enough time in. Yeah. So maybe just 2. I might be getting it mixed up, but you get the idea. That's how much we enjoyed this game.
It was a fun game.
It was really fun. And so I came back, and just a couple days ago, placed an order at Miniature Market, and it'll be here pretty soon, hopefully.
This will be a great game for game days.
Yes.
100%.
Absolutely.
Great game for game days.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that might be the first one I play on our next game day if it's here.
Yes, it will be. My number 7, First Rat.
There you go. I think we are going to have some crossover. We didn't talk about that, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have some crossover.
Yeah, we probably will.
My number 7 is a game that I finally got to teach to Mel. I've had it for a while, but Mel's in school, so I've had some things just we don't get to the table.
No, you take
but my number 7 is Clank Catacombs. And it's funny when you don't play a Clank game for a while, a few months or 6 months or even a year, and then you put a Clank game on the table and you start to play it and you're like, man, I just really like Clank. We had such a good time. We got there pretty early in the morning one day, Mel and I, and there wasn't very many people, and so we kind of waited to see if anyone wanted to join, and then I did a teach and the 2 of us played. But it was a great play. And Clank Catacombs is such a neat little puzzle of how everything kind of falls into place. Yeah. So
I agree. My number 6 came on the very first full day of the cruise, Monday morning. Which one was it?
Monday morning.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember.
Monday morning. It's a beefy game.
Oh, did we play that one Monday morning?
Galactic Cruise, yes. Galactic Cruise. This is one that I was on my most anticipated. A buddy of ours that was actually on the cruise demoed it at PAX Unplugged. And at PAX Unplugged, he said, you need to go over there and check that out. I think you'll like it. And I went over there and I was able to watch somebody else demoing it, but I was short on time, so I didn't actually get to sit down and demo it. But it looked interesting. Ian O'Toole's artwork looks really good. And after talking with I can't remember his name. Was it Daniel?
Dennis?
It started with the D.
I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Dennis.
Dennis was teaching us the game. And he was able to tell us a lot of other things about the game. And part of it was about how involved Ian is with the actual graphic design of all of the stuff. He's just not like drawing stuff and here you go, you can use it however you want. Yeah. No, he's like being super integral about the design of the board and how things are spaced out and all that kind of. I thought that was a really cool thing that Ian is doing. So it was just a really fun experience. It's really cool to have those kinds of experiences with publishers because they know their game. Yeah. And so you don't have to spend a whole bunch of time reading through a rule book, trying to interpret the rule book, and all this other kind of stuff. Somebody knows how to play. They run you through the game, and they're able to answer questions right off the bat. It's just a really great experience. And I think Galactic Cruise is going to be one of those games that I will enjoy coming back to. I don't think I'll play it a whole lot. But it's a game that, because it's a little bit heavy on the heavier side for me, but it is a game that I will come back and play because I did enjoy it that much. So that's my number, what was it, 7?
Number
No,
6.
6. Number 6, Galactic Cruise.
It's all right.
It's higher on his list.
My number 6 is a Stonemaier game by Connie Vogelman. I've played it a lot in the last few months, and I still, every single time I play it, I like it even more, and that's Apiary. I really like that game. And just the simplicity and the quickness of each turn and just the continuous movement across the board. I just really like Apiary.
No, yeah, that's a good game.
And I had a great time playing it.
Yeah, I think it's one of the first Stonemaier games that I absolutely enjoyed on my first play.
Yeah.
In such a way that I was like, I want to play this game again. Mm-hmm. You know, I enjoyed Scythe on my first play, but I was like, man, this was really kind of a hard slog for me to get to. I don't know if I want to play it again, but I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. This one was just this was cool. It was super flowy. It's got a really unique theme, you know, bees in space.
Yep.
You know, that's like super off the wall, but still cool. And I enjoyed it, but that's a good game. Yep.
On one of Jamie's, he had a Q&A going on about his games, I don't know, a month or so ago. Mm-hmm. And they were asking about what kind of games were coming next. And I said it needed to be bears in space eating honey in space, but that's the next one, see? But no, I really like Apiary. My number 6 play, we had a great time. Met a couple new people during that play. It was... me and Mel and actually a gal named Sarah, and which I don't know if it's the same Sarah that played with you in that other one.
It must be.
And I can't recall the fourth player we had, or we played a 5-player game. I'm sorry, we played it with Jim and Trenton. We played a 5-player game, and it was still awesome, smooth.
Wow, cool. My number 5 is a game that JT taught. And it was a 5-player game of Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape. Now, it was a 5-player game, and I think every single one of us at the table said that's the last time I will play this game 5 players. But it's still number 5 because I really think it was that much of an improvement over the first Massive Darkness. I enjoyed Massive Darkness, the first one, when it first came out. And I thought it was a great little dungeon crawl, but the improvements that they made to Massive Darkness 2, making each character play a little bit differently than the others, that's a really cool thing. I was playing the Barbarian, and I just really had a great time being that tank, but it's not the same kind of tank as you would necessarily have in a regular D&D camp where they're always on the front line. You do have to do other things and so forth. So, but I really enjoyed it. Watching the other people, it made the other people's turns more interesting at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, until you knew what everybody was doing.
And then once I knew what everybody was doing, I was like, okay, come on, let's go. I want to get back to my turn.
And we're talking about a game that went past midnight and in, so it was a late night game anyways, and it was a long one.
Yep.
Massive Darkness is not a small game anyways.
No, it's not.
But it was fun.
It was the perfect, in my opinion, it was the perfect marriage of a Zombicide and Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Because it felt really like Zombicide and some of the mechanisms, how things moved around and how the AI worked and all of that kind of stuff. It really felt like that, which is probably on purpose. But then to have my character work and play differently than everything else, that's where the D&D part came in. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. I think it's a great system. Really good.
Yep, and being able to level up in between turns, so you're getting cooler and cooler, neater things to try. That's a lot of fun.
Very much so. So I'm hoping we can get this to the table. We'll play it on the channel too. I think
we can definitely.
That's my number 5, Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape.
Nice. You chose a giant game for number 5. I'm choosing a tiny game for number 5, and this is a Phil Walker Harding game that says it's out in 2023, but it's 2024, and I don't have a copy because I can't find a copy, so that's a lie. But I will have this game, and it's called Silver and Gold Pyramids.
Oh, yeah.
This is the expansion, not the expansion. This is the sequel to Silver and Gold. Silver and gold, you're trying to take the islands and fill them all in. And pyramids, you're not. You're trying to get through as many pyramids as you can. Not as many pyramids as you can, but you're trying to go from the entry of the pyramid to the exit of the pyramid. And the route that you take is the same card flipping tetra.
Yeah.
What's that called? Tetraomino, whatever you call it. Polyomino shapes that you're chasing through. You're trying not to get skulls because they're negative points, and they kind of have that growing pain if you have more and more skulls. One skull might be worth -1 points, but by the time you get to -10 skulls, it's -25 points. You know what I mean? It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So you're trying to get potions to get rid of skulls. You're trying to collect little treasures on your way, torches and gems. But you're trying to get to the end, and then you get rid of that card and go to the next one. It's just an awesome step up from Silver and Gold.
Cool.
Really cool game.
Yeah. We'll probably be getting that game too because Jessie will not let me not get it.
I bet you that's correct.
She really liked that game. She played it, I think, 2 or 3 times with the kids and other people. So
yeah,
great pick. All right, my number 4 is another game that I played for the first time on the cruise. So far I've got 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th one that I played for the first time on the cruise, and that is Cthulhu Death May Die. And I actually played this twice because we played a game. It was me, Jim, and Trenton, and I want to say another person. I think it was Jessie. Yes, it was because she was making the face during the game. She was doing fine. It was a cooperative game, so we were all able to help it. But yeah, this was not really her cup of tea. The second time we played it was me, Jim, Trenton, you,
and Mel. 5-player.
5-player. And that's a cool difference because Massive Darkness 5 players, too many. Cthulhu Death May Die with 5 players,
you can do it.
You're fine and dandy. And so that's a really cool thing about these 2 games. I really enjoyed Cthulhu Death May Die. The first time I played this game, well, the only time that I had played this game before the cruise was when it was still in deep prototype form.
Yeah.
And Eric and the other designer's name, Rob.
Is it Rob Davio?
Yes.
Yeah.
Eric and Rob were still making changes as we were playing the game. So I can't really count it. I mean, it was a cool experience, don't get me wrong, but I can't really count it as a play because this is the first time I was able to play it, the finished product, and it's such a fun game. Such a fun game. So that is my number 4, Cthulhu Death May Die.
Very nice. Such a fun game. We had such a great time. We won there at the end. Only one of us was left.
We got shellacked in the first one. Fun. We got shellacked in the first game. I mean, I can't remember because you automatically lose if anybody dies. And
before the boss
I think
comes
Jess's
out.
character died. Not
pretty early.
From no fault of her own.
It can happen.
It was just
you can die on
that was done.
Turn 2 or 1 and just reset and start over.
Yes, pretty much.
All right, my number 4 is a game that I own. I've played it twice solo when it first came out. It was a Kickstarter game, but I've struggled to get it back to the table, and not struggled because we have so many games. It's just one of those ones that's gotten skipped. My number 4 is Age of Atlantis from Eldorado Games.
Oh, I haven't played this.
Nick Tompkins and Daniel Aronzo. Age of Atlantis is a really cool game, and as soon as we started playing and started like doing all the things that goes on in the game, I was just like, oh yeah, I really like this. This is another game I'm very intrigued by to play more because all of the players on the table, you're playing competitively against each other, and you're playing through 3 ages. But you each have your own board, which is split into basically the 3 ages worth of technology. So in the first age, you only can do this certain amount of technology, and then you can upgrade your civilization or your portion of civilization. But each of the players kind of takes on a different role. Mel was the government, and she won. She was taxing us to death. She was doing all these kind of horrible things. She was giving out what do you call it? She gave out like a gift to the Merchants Guild, but it cost them a bunch of stuff in the end. She was the government of Atlantis. Where I was the builder, I could build a lot of different buildings, and I wanted you to come use my building so I could make points and get reputation. One of us was the merchant guilds, and I can't remember what the fourth of us was, but basically you have Atlantis and you have a statue of Neptune in the middle that spins around that watches different districts, and you're building buildings. You're turning your normal laborers into Atlanteans so the Atlanteans can go out and fight. And it's kind of a tower defense because you've always got these enemies coming in from the outside, and you have to collectively defend. One of you can't do it alone. So you have to collectively defend, but you're still working for yourself and trying to make cool. It's just a really, really neat game. Cool thing. And we had such a good time, and once I started playing it, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like this. I got to play it more.
Yep. That'll be cool. Hopefully we can try that. It sounds really fun. I like the fact that you all have it sounds like each player will have different abilities, and each player has like a different
kind
goal.
Of focus. Yeah.
Focus. Yeah. Cool. My numbers 1, 2, and 3 are games that I have played
1,000 times.
Often. Well, not often, not 1,000 times, but I have played them before. Numbers 8, 9, and 10 I've also played before. So we're moving out of that brand new to me. We're back into games that I just had a good time playing. Nice. Number 3 was Sagrada. And not just Sagrada, we played a 5-player game of Sagrada. So we had to use...
That's a lot of drafting.
Yes, it is a lot of drafting. But we had a really good time.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just... the core game in and of itself is so simple to teach, and it's so easy to play. Having 5 players, there's some downtime. I'm not going to lie about that. There's some downtime waiting for people to pick their dice and all that kind of stuff. But it's at that point, it's not really about playing the game. It's more about just enjoying the time that you have with the people around you, and that's exactly what it was. It was me, Jess, Daphne, and Dante, and then Jim and Trenton as well. So we had a great time playing the game, and it was just reminded me. I mean, you reminded me of Sagrada with you playing on the app.
Yeah.
Then I downloaded the app, and I started playing the app, and then I told Jess, I really want to get this game again because it left my collection, and I was like, well, and then Dante bought it for me for Christmas.
Nice.
It came unwrapped on the front steps. I took a picture of it and said, hopefully this wasn't a Christmas present. Because literally,
it came unwrapped.
They slapped a shipping label on the cellophane of the box.
Oh,
and just put it in the mail.
Nice.
So I was like, cool. Sagrada just showed up on my doorstep. Awesome. So that's my number 3, though. Great time playing the game, Sagrada.
That's always going to be a fantastic game. All right, my number 3 is a crossover from your number 4, and that is Cthulhu Death May Die.
Yeah.
We had a blast playing that game.
We did.
That scenario was good. I don't think my character moved like the whole game. I ended up sitting in the corner just because of the scenario with shotgun blowing away as many cultists as I could while all of the guards stood around and watched me do it. Yeah. And we just had this whole story going on while they were running all over the board doing everything else, and I got shotgun in the corner duty. Yep. We had a blast.
That's funny. So, it was a great game. Yeah. Yep. I played the nun. I can't remember nun, like Beth or something like that. I can't remember what her name was, but
she's a beast.
Yeah, she was really cool, really cool. And I was able to kind of. There were times where I was like, "Oh crap, I don't know what's going to happen." And then, like towards the end of the game, it was like my last. I took out one dude, and then like 6 or 7 attacked me, and I was just like, whatever, bring it. What you doing?
Survived.
What you got? You I can't do nothing. You can't do nothing to me. So it was just one of those things where it was just a great cinematic experience.
Yep.
And it's a super fun game. So that's a great pick. All right, my number 2. This was a game that I believe. I think I purchased it, but you taught us how to play the game here in the house. It's called Back to the Future, Back in Time. And that was the only time we played it.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, he's a member of the channel,
Yep.
and he's our moderator. And he and his wife, Mary Beth, were there. And this is the game that they wanted to play with Jess and I. So Jess and I sat down in the library room and played this with them. We had to stop early because I had to get going to an event show, and so we didn't get to finish. But Tom has told us that we were well on our way to winning.
Bam.
We had the DeLorean at Doc Brown's house, and we had one more part that we were trying to get, and then we just had to move it over to the street, and then we were going to be able to get it done. So we were pretty close to winning. I'm pretty sure we would have. Tom and Mary Beth were like veterans at the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they play this a lot.
It was really cool meeting Tom.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Him and his wife both great people. So that was my number 2. Back to the Future, Back in Time.
Nice. Good game. I didn't know you played it there, but...
Yeah.
All right. My number 2 is a game that's been on my bucket list for 100 years. If I was 100 years old. And I was really, really...
Dude, you almost made me spit.
Sorry. I was really, really thankful.
Coffee coming out of my nose, man.
We tried to get it played a couple of times, actually. And it's just one of those things. There's several games where we're like, hey, you talk to somebody, you're like, we're going to play this game. And you're like, okay, let's figure that out. And then it never comes to fruition.
Happens, yeah.
It's really hard to make the time. But I am super thankful for both Dave and Dirk playing Battlestar Galactica with us, with Mel. I've never played Battlestar Galactica, but it's always been one of those ones that I know I would love. I was excited to play. I haven't been able to get a hold of or be able to play until this point, but we had a fantastic time.
Yeah, we did.
Even if he turned me into a Cylon. We had a fantastic time. And those guys were amazing. The teach was fantastic.
I wish I knew how Cylons sound when they laugh, because I would have tried to reproduce that sound.
They sound just like a human now. That's what I say. We had a great time.
Yeah.
From start to finish. I really loved that play.
That's good. That's good play.
I really liked that game.
Good play indeed.
I knew I would love the game, but I'm glad I did.
Right. Yep. That's a good one. Very good one indeed.
Oh, and by the way, Dave and Dirk have a YouTube channel. 2D Board Gamers.
2D Board Gamers.
2D Board Gamers.
Yep. Go check them out. They're good dudes.
Go check them out.
My number 1 is Battlestar Galactica. I had a great time playing that game. It was, I knew it was going to go weird when I turned over my loyalty card at the beginning of the game and it said, you are a Cylon. I was like, all right, buck up, Buttercup, here we go. And sure enough, I did not waste any time, to my detriment. I will say that. I did not waste any time trying to...
bury us.
Wee in the Cheerios, if I may say this, because I was putting the bad cards in every test that I possibly could. I did not waste any time.
Yep.
And they were able to deduce pretty early on that I was a Cylon, and it was the turn before, I think, or maybe it was the turn right after that you get your second loyalty card that you guys brigged me.
Yep.
And at that point, I was like, I don't care if I don't get to do something really stupid. I'm revealing myself. And so I did. And sure enough, I gave JT my second loyalty card.
He got them both.
You are a Cylon. And I was like, yes! So I was like, there you go, JT. Now you're on the winning team, brother. And it was just really fun. Now, it was really good because Dirk and David, or Deke and David, they know how to play that game.
Dirk,
yeah. They know how to play that game.
They know how to play.
And so, a lot of people say that it's weighted in the Cylon's favor. It was still pretty close. Mm-hmm. I think you guys, the humans, were at 7 distance, and they only needed to get 8. But I think
they got to get 8 and one more jump.
One more jump, right?
It's a tricky one.
It's tricky, but it was close.
And I turned on him in the last moment at the worst freaking event card. With Mel's yelling at me, "Why are you not stopping this event?" And I'm like, "Because he made me a Cylon." Anyways,
love it.
It was a ton of fun.
Such a great game. My number 1, Battlestar Galactica.
Right on. And my number one is a crossover with you, and that is Galactic Cruise.
Knew it was going to be
just my type of game, man. It's just that really meaty
believe
Euro.
The word you say is combo-tastic.
Yeah, combo-tastic, really meaty Euro with so much variability in the play, and way more than I ever thought. But the theme works so good.
Yep.
It just, all of the pieces and parts fit the theme. The theme's interesting to you. Taking the trips around the galaxy and stopping at different ports, or having a day at sea or a day at space was a perfect thing to play on the cruise anyways.
Super fun.
But we just had a great time. Dennis was a fantastic teacher.
Yeah, he was.
And obviously he loves the game because he helped design it. But I loved it.
Yep, super good
instant
experience.
Back for me as
super
soon as it
good
pops
experience. Up. Yep, absolutely. It's one of those games that I think it's going to be end of
March. I think
I thought it was end of February, but
it might be end of February.
End of February, mid-March, something like that. So it is coming. Go give it a look. It's JT approved.
It's JT approved.
And
it has my seal of excellence on it. And it's
Sam approved to the tune of number 6 on my top 10 games that I played over the course of the week.
Sam approved a meaty Euro.
So that should tell you something.
Yep.
It's super thematic. And this is something that I'm really enjoying about Euro games right now. Yeah. They're doing the work now. They didn't used to. They're doing the work to make their games thematic.
Yeah.
It's not just a bunch of mechanisms anymore.
But you knew exactly. Sense. Yeah, you knew exactly. I need to do this and this and this. I got to do this for my rocket. I got to do this for this. I mean, your brain. This game makes it very easy for you to prioritize what you need to do next.
Because it's intuitive. Because the theme works.
Because the theme works so well.
That's so cool.
Yep.
So that's a great pick. Great pick.
Right on.
All right, so the other games, I'll just go ahead and mention them real quick that I played. We already talked about Raising Robots. I didn't like that one at all. World Wonders is a game that we've played a lot here on the channel, and I've played it a lot. That was another fun game. Got to play that with Joe from All Play. He was only one of the people in the game, but he was sitting right across from me, so we had a lot of interaction and
nice.
So I really enjoyed that play. So it was their Bonsai. I got to teach that to a couple of people that had never played it before.
One yet.
You haven't? Oh, we got to play.
You think I'm going to like it?
Yes. Nice. I mean, it's again, it's not like a heavy Euro. It's super light, but it's a really great thematically themed. Well, thematic. It's a thematic game that works really well. Tile placement. It's really fun. Battle of the Gods.
I wanted to love it. The miniatures are the coolest freaking miniatures.
Yeah, they are.
Gorgeous.
I'm not going to give judgment on it just yet.
See? Just like me and Raising Robots.
My thing is, though, is that it was over so fast.
It's a very fast game.
Super fast game. Ole Steinus designed it, and he did Champions of Midgard as well.
Yep.
So,
well,
but
I
this
would
is
definitely
like
play it again.
Yeah, I want to play it again before I really. But it was. I went into the game thinking yes, and then at the end I was going, huh. Because I felt like we missed something.
I agree.
I felt like we missed something, so I want to play it again. There isn't anything that I disliked about the game. I just felt like it was super short.
I agree.
So, Horrified Greek Monsters, we were able to play that.
Yep.
And enjoyed it. Played against the Minotaur, and I can't remember what the other one was, but it was the first time I played against the Minotaur. That was a really fun experience too. So, and then Marvel Remix, we played. Reminded me how much I enjoy that game. Played it at Grand Con with a couple there as well, and enjoyed it. But it's one of those games that you kind of forget about. At least I do.
Yeah, Remix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you play it, you're like,
very fun.
oh yeah, this is super fun. Yep. So those are all 16 games. Including 17, including Tesseract.
I'm not going to pop all of them off, but since you did that much, I'm going to say that we did play Flamecraft. We taught Mel Flamecraft, and we had a blast.
Yeah, that's good.
And then I played this little game called Sail to India. I had a gentleman there at the last of the cruise teach me this game, me and Mel, this game, Sail to India. This is a game I'd like to pick up and try again because it's very interesting. You only have so many cubes. And then there's this card row where you're trying to sail out to these different locations. and the last card is India. So when somebody gets to the last card, it's there. But your cubes can become merchants and take over spots on the cards. They might be used as your bankers. They're also used for your victory point tracker. They're also used for your ships. So you're trying to manage what you're doing with your cubes at all times to fulfill all of these work, basically like professions, and still have enough cubes to get stuff done. So it's a really interesting little game. It's an older game. I think it's probably 20 plus years old. But I would like to get a piece of it. It was fun. We had a good time. I would really like to learn that game.
Sail to India.
Sail to India. But then I did say I had a biggest disappointment of the cruise. My biggest disappointment was Ilya. We talked about it multiple times. I really wanted him to teach me Subterra 2. And we never got to it. So that was my biggest disappointment, is not learning Subterra 2 from somebody that really knows the game. I really wanted to learn that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then my honorable mention was I played an RPG from Van Ryder Games, The Revenant Society. No, I wrote it down. Hang on, I didn't want to forget people's names. I'm not very. Julie from Van Ryder Games.
Yep, Julie.
She was awesome. She took us in. We kind of set up. Mel set it up at advanced, so we had 4 players. Mm-hmm. But this Revenant Society is really cool. It's a RPG, tabletop RPG where you're playing as revenants. You died for some reason. Come to find out, all 4 of us died. Not our time. So basically, the story is you're going back. You're going back to solve some issue that's happening, and if you all solve the issue, then you get to pick which way you go. You get to pick which way you go. So, but it's played out in like a time loop type of thing. So you go through. You're trying to deduce or discover what's happening and what's going to happen and how to stop it. And you're going to get to a certain point, and then you're going to start over at the beginning of that with the knowledge that you had from the first time loop. And it's just got this really cool loop. Your character creation is all done during the first session or during the session, to where we were getting grilled by this demon lady, which she had an awesome voice for, but she's like, "Well, how did you die?" And you get to choose how you die, and then she gets to incorporate that into the game. And just all these kind of things. Who is the one person you remember being there when you died? So mine was my little informant kid, because I was an old private detective.
Yeah.
But I got to pick that too. But you get to pick all of these things, and then it all gets incorporated in. There was just a really cool mechanisms, really cool way that it all intertwined. That's cool. I do want to pick up Revenant Society. I am going to try to play it with some people.
It sounds good.
It was super fun.
Sounds good. Yep. Well, that is our top 10 games that we played on the Dice Tower Cruise, plus a little bit of extra information there, plus some others. So thank you for joining us. We certainly appreciate your time spending it with us. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side.
Take care.
See you later.